People are more than the worst thing they've ever done. And people, even people who have committed serious harm, can and do change. At Amistad Law Project, we follow the leadership and language of people most directly impacted by the systems we're fighting against. I was on a visit with Felix Rosado, or Phil as I call him. He's like a brother to me. He's been incarcerated for almost 23 years, since he was 18 years old. We were talking about the importance of language, and I was explaining that while I usually say incarcerated person, sometimes I say prisoner when it feels awkward or cumbersome. And he was saying that that is when language is most powerful. When we use dehumanizing language, we allow systems to throw people away. People like Phil, who graduated valedictorian from his Villanova University class in prison, who created a restorative justice program that's trained over 1,000 incarcerated people completely outside of the control of the prison administration. Phil is a part of Right to Redemption, a group of people serving life without parole. They explain that life without parole is not a more humane alternative to the death penalty. It is itself a death sentence, death by incarceration instead of death by execution. In Pennsylvania, there are over 5,300 people serving death by incarceration. A little over half of them are from Philadelphia. Over 70% are Black or brown. If just Philly was a state, it would have more people serving death by incarceration than 45 other states. Our system treats people who are serving death by incarceration like irredeemable monsters that society has to protect itself from with barbed wire and cages and walls. But I know that people serving death by incarceration are people who have a unique and invaluable voice to bring to the conversation of how we can deal with harm without prisons. Over the past 2.5 years, over 100 people who are serving death by incarceration in Pennsylvania have come home. They were sentenced because of homicides that occurred when they were children. Since being given a second chance, they have mentored young people in how to resolve conflicts without violence. They've organized to bring the people they left behind home. At Amistad Law Project, we use litigation, advocacy, and organizing to work with our people to bring them home. Our team has 5 people. We work as a collective. 2 of our members served 30 and 27 years of death by incarceration and came home in December and February. In Philadelphia, we've seen what's possible with a progressive DA like Larry Krasner, and we've seen what's not. Amistad Law Project is a part of the Coalition for a Just DA, a group that pushed a progressive platform during the election and that's now working to hold Mr. Krasner accountable for the promises he made. But a DA is not going to bring the 2,700 people serving death by incarceration from Philadelphia home. It's not about humanizing people, it's about the limitations of our system. And in Berks County, where Phil is from, where there's a conservative DA, even less is possible. The world Amistad Law Project imagines is one in which Phil can do his restorative justice work on this side of the wall. We need parole eligibility for everyone. We all know people can change, but death by incarceration sentences make it so that no one can ever look at someone serving that sentence to see if they have. Our ultimate goal is abolition. The answer to harm is not more harm, but healing. While some people want retribution, many people, including people who've been harmed by violence, want a world without cages. We are carefully stepping towards that world. We invite you to walk with us. Read the report, A Way Out, from our comrades at the Abolitionist Law Center about death by incarceration. See and affirm the intrinsic humanity of incarcerated people. And I know that one day, Phil and many other people serving death by incarceration in Pennsylvania will come home. Thank you.